A criminal group based in Russia called DarkSide was responsible for the cyber attack that led to the shutdown of America's largest fuel pipeline, which stretches over 55.
It is a time where we thought we were at the peak of technology, when artificial intelligence emerges from obscurity, and combat simulation becomes more akin to a video game. But it is also a time of social distancing, high unemployment, and expiring benefits. Meanwhile, the planet suffers extreme climate conditions attributed to man-made interference. So it comes at the worst possible time for an information network breach that paralyzed an entire industry, leaving the nation out of gasoline to fuel their cars, all held at ransom by computer hackers. If they don't get the money, you don't get to drive your car. All the government can do is offer the low-skilled unemployed is telling them to learn to code.
Anybody who could go down 300 to 3,000 feet in the mine sure and hell can learn how to program as well.
As much as you think I'm talking about current events in 2021, I was describing a movie that predicted all of this in 1983. That would be the much maligned Superman 3, starring the late Christopher Reeve, Richard Pryor, and Robert Vaughn. The third installment went with a campy tone, with Richard Pryor as Gus Gorman, a chronically unemployed resident of Metropolis who took up computer programming when a career in fast food didn't work out. Gus turns out to be a programming genius and is hired by Rob Webster, played by Robert Vaughn. Webster is a wealthy industrialist that has problems grasping ethics, law, and common decency. However, he is a patron of science and easily finances unproven, unfettered projects, as long as he gets his cut. Gorman uses his ingenuity to program the company payroll system to skim the drop fraction of pennies in what's known as penny shaving, but quickly gets caught and recruited by Webster to take over the world economy with computers. And there's a side story about Clark Kent going to his high school reunion. While the example of social distancing was made in jest, the economic hardships of Gus Gorman were not. Losing jobs in the restaurant businesses he runs through his unemployment benefits. The government program is unable to afford to keep him afloat. The political machine has decided he was on his own. But Gus eats up a matchbook advertisement, or what's known today as a political suggestion. Learn to code. Gus is a natural genius who doesn't wait to break the rules of his instructor or common law. No programmer can match him. No accountant can catch him. Unless he does something totally stupid. Like many good hackers when they're caught, he is rewarded with a better paying job and a greater challenge. Gus agrees to hack a weather satellite and begins a series of climate change upon the nation of Colombia over the price of coffee. You can say the natural disasters were man-made. Gorman's hacking techniques even included what we call today social engineering, applying pressure on an employee with pleas, threats, and incentives. Gus chooses a security guard, someone with lots of access but little authority, the perfect patsy to get inside and install a Trojan horse. Superman, however, was the perfect example of nuke and pave, and he removed the infections of climate, restoring Colombia to its normal operation. And sometime after, Gus reprograms the same satellite, equipped with lasers traveling faster than the speed of light, and cracks the code of kryptonite. But who wants to hear about that? Gus's ambitions, as well as Webster's, grows as he wants to build a supercomputer with superintelligence, artificial intelligence, that can learn from its opponents, find new energy sources, and come up with battle plans on a moment's notice. It only needs a little help with mobility. Webster agrees to build his AI machine, but in return, Gus must hack the world's communication network and ransom all the oil, leaving the United States, especially the East Coast, out of gasoline. They won't get a drop to feed their cars unless they pay Webster's price. There are long lines, short tempers, fisticuffs and fights, and thoughts about conspiracies that someone is getting rich off of this. But Superman won't stand for this. After fighting his inner demons, he's off to confront Webster. Communications between the hackers and the authority, in this case Superman, are done remotely by recorded voice chat with visual GPS coordinates. But it's a trap. With the help of Gorman's supercomputer, military-grade rockets, a user interface installed with the latest GPU, Webster is ready to take on an alien being with superhuman strength and abilities. I guess a pair of gaming controllers might give you enough confidence, but who knows? It comes down to a final confrontation between the last son of Krypton and Gorman's baby. It's Superman versus AI. It's machine learning versus superhuman cleverness. And Superman wins with the help of heat-activated acid, something found in most any store. Why? Because he's Superman. The world gets its energy fix, with Americans willing to overpay for gas. Gus gets computer work for another energy company. Loses that job too. And not one more discussion about improving network security from anyone. Sometimes life imitates art. Let me know in the comments below. Did you see this coming in 1983? Will you think differently now of Superman 3? Like, share, or subscribe if you enjoyed this content and want to see more like this one. This is Mr. G of Synergy saying, it's okay to split the dough, but you shouldn't slice a salami. Check out other videos on the channel. Thanks for watching.
Anybody who could go down 300 to 3,000 feet in the mine, sure and hell can learn how to program as well.